Uche had always felt a sense of emptiness, a void that he couldn't quite explain. Growing up in a small village in Nigeria, he had been told that his parents had died in a tragic accident when he was just a baby. But as he grew older, Uche began to feel an insatiable curiosity about his family's past. One day, Uche decided to embark on a journey to discover the truth about his family. He traveled to nearby villages, asking questions and gathering information. He met with elderly relatives, pored over old records, and scoured the countryside for any clues that might lead him to his biological family. As he walked through the dusty village streets, Uche was struck by the vibrant colors and sounds of the market. Women in bright wrappers and headscarves sold fresh produce, while men in worn dashikis repaired bicycles and motorcycles. The smell of jollof rice and suya wafted through the air, making Uche's stomach growl with hunger. Weeks turned into months, and Uche's search seemed futile. But he refused to give up. He was driven by a deep-seated desire to connect with his roots, to understand where he came from and who he truly was. Then, one fateful day, Uche received a tip that led him to a small village on the outskirts of the forest. As he entered the village, he was struck by the beauty of a young woman named Amora. She was kind, intelligent, and had a quick wit. Uche was immediately smitten, and he found himself spending more and more time with Amora. As they grew closer, Uche and Amora began to talk about their families. Uche shared his story of being separated from his family at a young age, and Amora listened with compassion and understanding. "I've always felt like there's something missing in my life," Uche said, his voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know who my parents were or where I came from. It's like a part of me is missing." Amora's eyes filled with tears as she took Uche's hand. "I understand how you feel," she said. "I've always felt like I don't quite fit in with my family. Like there's something about me that's different." But as they continued to talk, Uche began to notice strange similarities between Amora's family and his own. They shared the same last name, and their ancestors came from the same village. Uche's heart began to race in as he realized the truth. "Amora, what's your father's name?" Uche asked, his voice shaking with anticipation. Amora looked at him curiously. "My father's name is Ikena." "Why?" Uche's eyes widened in shock. "That's my father's name too," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. Amora's eyes filled with confusion and fear. "What does it mean?" she asked. Uche took a deep breath before speaking. "I think it means we're related," he said. "I think we might be twins." Amora's face went pale as she stumbled backward. "No, it can't be," she said, her voice shaking with emotion. Uche felt like he had been punched in the gut. He didn't know how to process this new information. He felt like he was living in a dream, like nothing was real. Together, they decided to seek out the truth about their family. They traveled to their ancestral village, where they met with elderly relatives who shared their story. Uche and Amora learned that they were indeed twins, separated at birth after their parents' death. They had grown up in different villages, without ever knowing about each other's existence. The discovery was both exhilarating and terrifying. Uche and Amora had to navigate their feelings for each other, while also coming to terms with their shared past. It was a journey of self-discovery, one that would change them both forever. As they stood together, looking out at the vast expanse of the forest, Uche and Amora knew that their lives would never be the same. They had uncovered a truth that would bind them together forever, a truth that would challenge them to re-examine their understanding of family, identity, and love. "I'm scared," Amora said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I don't know what this means for us." Uche took her hand, his eyes filled with compassion and understanding. "We'll face it together," he said. "We'll figure it out, one step at a time."